All right, this is what I'm working on. So, you guys have seen the drone, but the drone is not really like my primary project right now. The primary is to make a mesh network, and so I'll be using these T-beam Meshtastic circuit boards to create a mesh network, and I have 4 of these on order. So, Meshtastic network, there'll be some encryption involved, and this is mainly for my guys that are on the border mission currently. Excuse my crib, I got a lot of projects going on, but there's going to be a Meshtastic at the ground station, which will more than likely be this computer. We'll see, one of the two. There will be a relay station on the drone, and then I will have various other devices that's gonna run Civtak. So if any of you guys are into like ham radio, Civtak is like the civilian version of ATAC, and you get like a full GPS mapping system. So individuals on the ground, they'll have an individual mapping system. The ground station will have the mapping system. The drone will be involved in the network as far as like relay, and all these devices should be able to see each other, communicate with each other in real time, and do, I guess, real time like coordination, like ground coordination, air and ground coordination. So that's what we're working on, really. The drone is a plus. The main thing is going to be the network, the actual mesh network. And I want individuals on the ground to be able to communicate with the ground station, which will sort of be like, if you're in the military, that'll be like your TOC, your Tactical Operations Center. And then the drone will be like a relay station if I need to get more, what do we call it? If I need to relay that signal further. So I think right now the Meshtastics are good for several kilometers. But if I can get this guy high enough in the sky, it can actually transmit further. So one of those doggone Meshtastics will probably go to a friend of mine's house, and he stays about, 1 or 2 miles from me, and we're going to see how that works. If we can't get those to communicate, this is going to jump up in the air, act as a relay, and be able to transmit that signal further. And then, what else? In the future, we're going to do like a phased array beamforming microwave network. I think eventually that'll be the primary, but that's later on down the road, and the Meshtastic will be the secondary mesh network. And then we'll have to find out what we're going to do as far as like a transport, because I want really some of this to be in the cloud. I thought about adding a Raspberry Pi with Kali installed, but it looks like Black Arch Linux supports the mission planner that can be used for the drone. So I can do mission planning and I can use the Black Arch Linux for network penetration testing, because I do eventually want to hack from the drone. So if I get near like a Wi-Fi network or something like that, I want to use that drone to hack into the network. That's later on down the road. So what else? Something else. Oh, my Coral AI for object recognition, that's going to go on the drone as well. I'm probably going to drop a gimbal camera, and I would like for that video on the gimbal camera to be used by my Coral AI for object recognition. So at this point, it's all like integration. So I'm trying to integrate all of these different systems to work with one another, so that one, we have a communications network, two, we have object recognition, and three, we'll be able to like send data from one location to the other encrypted. That's what's going on in my mind anyway. So we'll get it figured out. But actually, all of the current projects that I'm working on, well, a majority of the current projects I'm working on are actually going to go into a single project. So right now I'm waiting on a secondary like receiver, because right now I could fly this drone with the software only, put in whatever waypoints that I want to put in, have it fly to particular locations and do a particular job. But if this fails, I want to be able to control it with this. Oh, so I have another receiver coming in for this guy tomorrow. Make sure that it works with that remote, and that's going to be a secondary. So I want to program all his waypoints, where it's going to fly with this. If I can run the Arch Linux, the Black Arch Linux on here and do some penetration testing on wireless networks, that's going to be cool. And then I want to have object recognition with this guy. So more than likely, this whole GPS unit is going to move closer to the unit, so it's more balanced out. And I may install another one of these plates on the other side for balance, place my Raspberry Pi, put in the Arch Linux, add the Coral AI for object recognition, add a gimbal camera underneath, and see if I can get that video to actually go to the Coral AI, and then create a network between everything: ground station, drone, people on foot. So that's what's going on in my mind like right now, and I think that we can make this happen, because it's basically just all integration. As long as I can get each one of these individual softwares to speak to one another, and I can create a network between everything, then we should be good to go.